All right. Got some record there. Lovely. All right, let's get onto the mat and start with our tiptoes and heels. Tiptoes and heels. So if you were here last week, you might notice that as you rock back especially, that you can feel the arches working, the inner thighs lifting, that there is this pull up from the front, which is our core getting stronger and stronger. And just allowing that to happen, feeling the feet obviously and the calves and the shins also getting a little bit fatigued. That's quite normal. And then feeling the floor beneath you, just allowing yourself to roll over front to back to front. And oh yeah, it took a little moment there. It took me a little while to go, where is the floor? Am I rolling over it? So it's supposed to show that that bit of my brain was obviously offline today. And then we just bring it to stillness then and just notice as you breathe out the feet sinking into the floor. Oh, growing those roots, send the breath down and really grow those roots right deep down into the ground so that you can feel that sense of being anchored into the ground via that core. And then we can shift and do the hands. So again, we might just rub or massage. Massage has come back in fashion for my hands this last week, but I'm still loving massaging here, the internal part of the hand, where the reflex point is, and also a little bit down here as well. It seems like I hold quite a bit of tension in this muscle here. Might want to try that. Lovely. And then a bit of pinch of the fingers. And there we are, just bringing the hands by the sides and again, just noticing feet and hands at the same time. So take that breath down, send it down, feet and hands, lovely, together. Okay, so with the face, I've come back to this one this week, this one with the sliding the fingers down across the chin bone. So you find the top of the chin bone, and there's those two little spots that stand out immediately, really sore. Although as the week's gone on, they've got less sore, so something good is happening there. Holding them for about 5 seconds, moving on to the next ones, which are just below here, the cheek. About 5 seconds, and then into the jaw, as if you're leaning forwards into it. And here at the front of the mouth. And this one here, this one is not going away. It's still as strong as ever. So there must be some tension that I'm holding there. So this is underneath the cheekbone, pointing up towards the eyes. And then following that cheekbone around above the muscle. Okay, so it's between the bone and the muscle there, at the edges of the cheek. This is such a good one, this one. I can feel it all the way back to my neck. And then letting it all relax. Just giving maybe a little bit of a stroke, just to encourage that relaxation, just that little bit more. And across, and across, and across, and across. And just feeling that whole jaw go again. Take a breath. Just feeling feet, hands, and face all at the same time. And just have that moment to really feel that nervous system do that little rejig that it needs to come back to that stable place. Lovely. All right, so let's get into position, bringing the hands and opening the chest. Feeling the roots at the front of the body that allow you to stretch out and reach with the breath. And then forward bend as you breathe out. Slide the hands down. Just check out how the body feels initially. Give it a moment there, tuck the chin in, let go of the neck. And just Check out the lay of the land this morning. It's different every time. Taking a breath in, we're going to look up and then come down breastbone first. And then again, let the head go. And slightly stronger stretch again. Our aim is to try and relax whatever we're feeling. Taking a step back with one leg. Dropping down, we're leaning forwards. Waiting for that stretch to happen in that back leg. So that feeling of letting the leg go or dragging it behind you. Coming up. When you've got that, and breathing in, reaching up. Now to not wobble here, you need the core. So think of that front foot, use it, pick up your marble. And then bring your hands back down. And again, just wait a moment, release. Push the floor away from you. And bringing the front foot back, plank pose. Just holding the plank pose for a moment, waiting for the heart rate to come up. And taking the opportunity to really feel, am I picking up that marble at the front? Don't forget to breathe. Notice, am I holding my breath? Is it hard to breathe? Because this is what we're going to try and tackle today. And then coming down, palm upon palm, rest the forehead and its bottom roll. And again, we're getting into a nice steady rhythm. Find a song or rhyme, something in the background that you can work with. And then just feeling that little change when it comes, just observing, keeping with the body so don't get distracted. Might be a deeper breath, might be a sigh, whatever it is, just make sure that you know that it's happened and you can bring yourself to stillness at the right moment. Noticing that sensation, we know we're familiar with it now, so just really feeling into it. And we'll bring the hands around, tuck the elbows and breathing in, we're lengthening the spine, opening out, and then keeping the hands stuck to the mat. Going to lean out the wrist, elbows, shoulders, upper back, stretching right the way through to the tail. Now you might find that there's a part of you there that's a bit tight, probably around the diaphragm, so you can give yourself a little rock here. Use the hands, ribcage rock. And when we're stretching, the reflex moves tend to happen a little bit faster, so it'll only take 5 or 10 seconds. You'll feel a change, and then you come back to the stretch and notice the difference. And then we're coming up. We've got cat and cow, so S shape. So we're going to pull, feel the lengthening of the spine, and as you push, hands and feet, you'll feel that marble lift. Pull, lengthening of the spine, push, and the marble lifts. Keep going, pull, and push. So today we're going to try and keep the marble lifted even as we go into the S shape, which is not as easy as it sounds. So see, can you manage that here? Lift the marble, keep it there, and reach from that lift. Lovely, one more. Keep the marble there and reach. And then come back to neutral, tuck the toes under. We're coming up into downward dog here. Have a nice little stretch. There's a little bit of a preview of some of what we're going to do today. Letting go of the legs, reaching with the arms, engage the core. Remember, pick up your marble. It really makes the stretch a little bit better. You might find that there are bits of you, those of you that know that you want to rock away, either miniature STNR or a little ribcage rock, or even a neck rock if you've got shoulder tension going on. Sort to remind you that these are all available, and then just coming back to stillness for a moment, breathing. And when your arms have had enough, the same leg that went back is now going to come forward. Just bringing it into position and leaning into it to get the stretch in the groin on the other side. So wait for a moment, push the floor away from you. Feel that leg be left behind, like you're dragging it. Engage your core, so use that front foot to engage the core. And breathing in, reaching up. Bring the hands back down. Again, push the floor away from you a little bit. And allow that stretch to happen a bit stronger this time. And then let's bring this back foot forward, coming into a forward bend. Let the head go. Oh. Grab hold of the elbows, engage the core so that you can dangle. With that dangling, if you wish, you could give yourself a little bit of a rock here. Bring back to stillness. Dangling a bit more, maybe letting go of the arms. Breathing in, we're going to look up, flatten the back. And coming down, breastbone first, and give yourself that time to let go. Relax the jaw and neck. Engage the core so you can really dangle. And then we're gently unpelling. Find your feet. Root them down. Breathing in, up and over. Create a nice length in the spine. And then we're going to bring the palms together. Let's draw that line down the center of the body. So we've got the hands on the top part of the line and the core forming the bottom part of the line. So just join those two together and you've got a straight line through the center of the body. Feel your feet either side of the line, the hands on the line, the jaw relaxing into the line. And just take a few breaths here with nothing else, nothing but being aware of the line, the feet, hands and face and the breath. You might feel that that core is either being held on the out breath. Hopefully today, after today, it'll be held always. That's what we're aiming for. And then release. Good, well done. So first a little review of last week's session, because it's going to be helpful today. So big toes are working. This is while we're standing. Big toes are working. The arches are lifting. We've got the kneecaps drawing up. It's like we're drawing up water. That helps us then to get into the marble area and pick up as if that water's coming all the way up to the belly button. And I think one of the best sort of analogies is this one with the rope. So if you can imagine that there's a rope in front of you, it's tied into the wall, and you're being held into position by this rope. The rope can also be down there, by the way, in the ground, so you get more of a rooted, anchored feeling. But that means that the back of the body can let go. So I'm not falling backwards because I've got the core engaged, but I can feel the back of my body, and that feels like the buttocks spreading or the tail dropping. And more than anything, like you're doing nothing with that back muscle. Okay, so what we're going to look at now is, what happens with breathing in this position. So just notice, have a little moment, and just notice while I'm holding my breath, what am I doing? Can I take deep breaths, for example, or are my breaths really shallow? Or was I holding my breath? Some of us might have been completely holding our breath in our attempt to do the core. Or it just might feel that the breathing is a little bit constrained, more constrained than normal, and that you'd rather just let it all hang out so that you can breathe properly. Okay, so this is all just indicated because it's going to change. It's going to change today, at least for a little while. All right, let's come into a forward fold. We're just going to do a couple of stretches here using that core. So we're going to come back to a forward bend, perhaps coming down breastbone first, a little get nice and strong forward bend. Feel the feet, the toes engage, the arch lift.
the inner thighs. There's a slight little push into the core and you're engaging the core. Now notice how you breathe here. And you breathe easily. Let's give ourselves a little twist. So one hand on the floor, one hand behind, just looking over the shoulder. See if we can relax that diaphragm. We're going to come and do some diaphragmatic stuff in a minute. On the side. Just see that this makes a difference to your breathing, your ability to lift and breathe at the same time. And you'll probably find, okay. So again, let's come back to table pose. So we're looking up here a little bit, using the hands like the extra legs of the table. Now, as you lift your core, if the diaphragm is nice and warm, it's going to meet that lift. And you're going to feel your chest and upper back expand. Have another go. Lift the core. Drop the diaphragm towards it and feel the chest and upper back expand. You can come back down. Again, breastbone first. Let the head go. So it's been working a little bit. Relax the jaw. Lovely. Let's reach forward with the hand. Sitting back into downward dog. Just to have a nice stretch here for a moment. And again, if you want to work a little bit of the core, remember you can do one leg at a time. So when you bend one knee, the other leg has to take the strain, which means that side of the core has to really work. And if you try and lift the leg and something hurts, like your hip or your back, then that means that your core is not doing enough. So transfer, work harder with that big toe and that arch, lift that kneecap and feel that core take over. And this kind of shows the importance of the core here in good hip and back positioning. It puts it into the right position. If you've done one leg at a time, make sure you do two legs together and then bring yourself down to rest. Have a moment with the head on the ground and breathe. Lovely. Okay, so let's have a little look at STNR again when you're ready. So this STNR has lots of different aspects to it. First of all, of course, is this pull and push from S to C. You know, and the real sort of initial reason that we have STNR is to create this neutral space, to know where the spine is straight. It's neither S nor C. But within it, we've got this reach in S, which is the Landau reflex, and the push, which is the core reflex. So we're reaching and core lifts. Now, this is how the baby starts to engage and get their core nice and strong. But what happens then is that as you pull and then you come into C shape, you keep the C shape in position and you keep that lift. And as you come into S shape, that lift remains, the lift remains, the lift remains, the lift remains. And you're going to want to, especially ladies who've had babies, you're going to want to drop it, keep it up there. So that when you come back to C, you've got that lift going. So that lift, technically, and this was the case before we birthed huge babies, that the core was always in that up position. And, you know, it might, if you think about the age of your oldest child and add about 6 months to that, that's how long ago you last had a core that worked like that, right? So a lot of work to do. So let's bring this right hand onto the left rib. We're going to warm up the diaphragm just so that you can really feel how this all fits together. It's a bit like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, this. The Moro reflex has an important part to play in our posture. Well, all reflexes have an important part to play in our posture in different ways, but the survival reflexes can make the biggest impact if they're not working properly. So as we rock here, maybe close your eyes, just really feel into what you're doing here. I can feel the rib cage rocking and that big muscle that's like a parachute in the middle, also rocking with it. And then when there's a response, so there was one, you're going to bring it to stillness and just bring the hands here and really observe, how does that feel? Nice and warm. Lovely. And then we'll bring the hands to the outer edges of our rib cage here. Just find the bottom two bones. We're going to breathe in, look up. We're going to palpitate the diaphragm now. So as you breathe out and fold forward, let the fingers slide in. Breathe all the way out, hold just for a second. Acknowledging what you're doing in that hold, breathing in. We come back up. Bring the fingers a little bit closer in. And as you breathe out, folding forward. Again, the out breath is held only for a second and mainly so that you can acknowledge what you're doing. Bring the hands to the closest point, breathing out underneath the sternum. All the way out. And as you come up, hopefully you can really feel here the warmth starting to really spread. It's that melting honey feeling. And then we can start. Now, I'm still kneeling, but you could have changed position. These can be done in all sorts of positions. Sitting on a chair, cross-legged, kneeling. I can kneel for quite some time. So it's just, make yourself comfortable down below and getting this salsa dance move going on. Spreading this warmth. And then bringing it to stillness. And again, okay, I think we've done a really good job of that. And the diaphragm is lovely and warm. And it's melting down towards the core. Now, this is the trick. So you're going to breathe out and pick up your core. And as you breathe in, feel that diaphragm melt down towards that pickup. And what you're doing, you're squeezing the stomach together, which is actually a really good thing for the peristaltic movement. So you breathe in, the core stays lifted, remember? The diaphragm does its thing, and as you breathe out, you're breathing into your belly, squeezing the intestines a little bit, and it stays lifted. Now, I've just noticed that in all of this thinking, I've forgotten to let go of my sack of potatoes. So I'm in slight S shape down below. Check that. Okay. Relax the legs. Pick up your marble. Do it one more time, breathing in. And what you'll feel, because we're breathing like this, is that the breastbone lifts ever so slightly. Let's try it in a little bit of a stronger pose so we can get, real sense of this. So if we come back to the swing, so we're going to cross our legs and we're going to be in a slight C shape. So let's remind ourselves, me included, let go of your legs, drop your sack of potatoes, pick up your marble at the front. Feel that pickup stay there. Now breathe in. Feel the diaphragm sink down and the chest rise up. As you breathe out, pick up. Don't collapse your chest, you don't need to. Stay exactly where it is, breathing in. Diaphragm goes down to meet the pickup and the chest lifts. Now one more time. Now as you let go and you come up to sitting, we don't have to work so hard now. You'll see it. So you're picking up down below, you breathe in. And the chest naturally rises. Now let's add a little bit of everything else. So the shoulders are not doing any work. They're orangutan. The chin and the head aren't doing any work. You're not lifting by the neck. The upper part of your body is now upright because the core is lifting and the breath is working properly. And it's so easy. You are doing nothing. The body is just automatically doing the job. So have as many breaths as you need to get that there. We are going to now start to stretch with this. So, you know, in our stretching, we do have a tendency to close the chest off. So this is going to help quite considerably. So let's come to reaching for a forward bend. Now, very common to drop down the breastbone, but now we can feel like we don't want to, because we know in a minute we're going to breathe down to that pickup of the core, and the breastbone is going to rise. Breathing out, picking up, picking up, picking up. Breathing in, picking up, picking up, picking up. Breathing out. You can remember, oh yeah, that C shape. I pick up on the C shape, and now I'm trying to keep it as I breathe in. My diaphragm melts towards that pickup, meets it, and my breastbone lifts. And then I pick up, pick up, pick up. And you notice in that pickup, on the out breath, that you're now hinging from the center of the body, from the core. Now, as we come up to doing this triangle pose, you will notice that it's a little bit harder in this to keep that core lifting on the in-breath. And that's because we don't have the support muscles from the legs. So as you come forward, it doesn't have to be a strong stretch, especially not initially. Relax your legs. Remember tick-tock. That helps here. Remember to sit down your sack of potatoes. Now, pick up your marble as you breathe out. So think C shape as you breathe out, pick it up. Breathe in, let the diaphragm melt towards that. Keep that pickup as you breathe in. Feel that chest rise. Breathe out. The core picks up. You're able to fold from the center of the body. Breathe in, feel that diaphragm meet that pickup. Breathe out, picking up. Lovely. I'm going to turn to face one leg. So it's going to get a little bit harder the stronger the pose to think about these things. We'll just go slowly and go through each part. So first we're letting go of the legs. Then we're letting go of the back. We're picking up our marble as we breathe out, keeping that pickup there. I'm going to lean forward slightly to get the stretch now. And as I breathe in, I let the diaphragm meet that pickup. Feel the chest. It's expanding. Relax the shoulders. They don't need to do anything here, or the neck, or the jaw. And the stretch is just happening from that out breath and that ability to fold slightly forwards. Breathing in, let the diaphragm meet the pickup. Breathing out, keep the pickup going. Try not to collapse the chest. Just fold from the center. And getting more and more used to, the more that we do it, the more the breath, the body is getting used to this idea. So you're going to turn around. Now for some of us it's easy. This is how we breathe most of the time. For some of us, this is all brand new and it's really difficult. So take your time with it. Let go of the legs. Relax the sack of potato. Pick up your marble at the front. Breathe in. Feel that pickup. Feel the warm diaphragm meet that pickup. Breathe out. Feel the fold come from the center of the body. Breathe in that pickup. Breathe out.
Really nice. All right, let's do a couple of twists. We'll start with something easy and we'll work out to an open twist. So cross-legged twist is my favorite, this one. Really easy to do physically, so it means that we can focus on the things we need to focus on, like letting go of the legs and dropping sack of potatoes, feeling that pick up at the front of the body, looking over the shoulder. Now, as you breathe in, feel that breastbone lift. The diaphragm drops down to meet that pickup. And the breastbone opens beautifully, and you can get a little bit more of a squeeze out of it by using the hands. Keep that pickup going. Now, what some of us will be finding is that staying with the pickup now on the in-breath is becoming a little bit harder. That's because we're getting tired. It's not a strong muscle initially, this one, so it needs a bit of time. But just keep working at it, especially on the out-breath, and let go of the legs, sink the sack of potatoes, feel that core engage at the front. Breathe in, let the diaphragm meet that pickup. Breathe out, pick up again. Breathe in, meet that pickup. Let's bring in some circles. Circling in one direction and then in the other. Lovely. Okay, so let's go for an open twist next. So we're going to have one leg straight and one leg bent. But rather than go across the body, we're going to use the same hand on the leg. You can slide sort of the fingers underneath the arch. And this is interesting because here you'll be able to feel whether you're using your arch or not. This hand will come behind you. Relax the legs, engage your core. Okay, so you feel that foot on the floor a little bit engaged. Picking up that core, now we breathe in, and easy to feel that diaphragm trying to reach that pickup. And the breastbone lift. And of course, you've got the twist, relax on the out breath. Try to figure out, like I was sort of trying to lift a little bit there with my chin, my head, but they don't need to be doing anything. Let's try the other side. So, putting the foot into position, putting the hand into position. Can I feel the arch there? Relax your legs, engage your core, look over the shoulder. And I'm breathing in, feeling that breastbone lift. Feel that diaphragm meet that pickup. Little squeeze in the stomach there. Lovely. Okay, so again, we're going to do two twists. This nice easy one to begin with and a slightly stronger one afterwards. So we've got one leg out to the side in triangle. This hand is going to slide a little bit away from me. And again, I want to feel like initially, my instinct here is always to roll myself forward and slightly bring my tail out, when what I need to be doing is dropping and engaging my core. So watch out for that. Now, as we put the arm into position, normally I say reach with the hands, but actually the reach happens with the breath. So as you pick up your marble and you breathe in and the diaphragm meets that pickup and the chest lifts, you can feel it translates into the arm reaching. Breathe out, pick up the marble. Breathe into that pickup. And feel that opening in the side of the body.
I hope you can feel that because we're going to need it for the next one. So again, letting the legs drop down, engage your core here at the front, bring the arm into position. You can bend this elbow as much as you like to get, as much stretch as you need, but you're focusing primarily on the core. So as you breathe out, pick up the core, breathe into it. Feel the chest expand and the arm lift. Picking up and breathing. Okay. So this next one starts on all fours. And we're going to bring the foot to the side. Okay. So the foot is in line with this knee, and then we're going to bring the hand and put it in line. Now, initially, we kind of crouch down here, trying to sort of get our hands into the right position. So here's where we need the core. The core is going to lift us. Now, if you can't reach the floor all the way, you could get a block. Okay, here we go to the side. We're going to bring the arm up and over. Now, think about what we need to do. Relax the legs. Engage the core. That's what's going to stop you from wobbling. Inner thighs working away there. Breathe in, meet that reach, that pickup, and feel the reach. Breathing in, meet the pickup, and reach. Now to come out of this safely, you can just bend yourself down. You can reach up with the arm. It's up to you. One is harder than the other. One uses the core more than the other. Other side. So lining up the foot to the knee, lining up the hand. Here we are a little bit crouched down. To pick myself up, I need to use my core. I go. Got to get nice and stable so I feel those inner thighs supporting me here. Bring the arm over. And as I breathe in, I'm still picking up the core and the breath. The diaphragm is dropping, that nice warm diaphragm melting towards that pickup. Breathing out. There's still that reach going because the chest is so open. The rib cage. And again, you can use your core here. You need that spring to pick you up if you want to come out that way. All right, let's just before we lie down, let's just see if this has worked nicely. Let's come back to cat and cow. And so I'm going to push with the hands and the knees. I'm going to feel the core engage here. Very clearly, hopefully now. And now as I pull, that engagement stays. I breathe in. The diaphragm drops down towards that pickup and my chest expands. Breathing out. Oh, back to C shape. Really feel this. It's so important a pattern for good posture. Now, of course, when we're doing yoga and we're stretching or using our core with strength, we do quite a lot. But if we're just sitting, there's not that much effort happening. You're just breathing. And the work is happening. Now, there's one little, I've just remembered I really wanted to do this pose with you. And Pippin being a sight hound, it's like, this is rabbit pose. You're gonna like this one here. So we're sitting on our knees and we're gonna bring our elbows and touch our knees. It's like a child pose, except we've got the elbows here. And what's really good about this is it releases the shoulders. This is why I like it. And you can feel this process really well. So if we come into C shape and feel the core lift, and then keep that core lifting as we breathe in. Now we get this lovely extension of the spine. Breathe out, come back to C shape. Breathe in, reach. From that pickup, feel the diaphragm. Drop down, the chest open. Let's do a couple more. C shape. Pick up, reach, expand the diaphragm down. Open the chest. One more. It's in a pose like this that we can really see how the diaphragm working properly can really affect our shoulders, because when you sit back up and you go, oh, that feels nice for my shoulders, they can really orangutan here and let go. Okay, so just feel that orangutan. It's like, what's happened there is that we've definitely told the shoulders not to be used in this process of breathing. Down. And somebody said in one of my yoga classes, this is for us ladies out there, you remember when we were 17 or 18, trying to have a bikini belly, you know, like this. We were over exaggerating it, but compared to what it felt at the beginning of the class, this feels like, oh yeah, I'm holding in the whole time while I breathe in, while I breathe out. And it feels like effort at the moment, but we've just activated this area, and hopefully over the next few weeks it'll stay active, and you will start to feel the sense of holding yourself together, which we lost when we had our babies. So really important pattern. Let's come down to the floor like this. So slightly different to normal. We reach normally. Today I'm going to ask you to put your hands on your knees, because you're going to have to work even harder to do so. So you're going to pick up as you drop down. But now don't hold your breath. Keep breathing in, and notice that the in-breath, as it meets that pickup, is helping you to keep you upright. Obviously, when you get to a certain point, you might need to reach a little bit. Keep yourself upright. Oh, a little bit of a drop there. I'm getting tired. Been doing this all week and it's been really good, but it's a lot of work. Okay, so now we're going to come and do our bridge pose, which is a great teaching tool. We've got our feet on the ground, and we're going to curl the tail into our C shape. And now already, even before we've lifted the pelvis off the ground, our core is starting to engage. Now breathe into that core. Feel the chest expand. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing, but as we go up. So you're going to come up using the feet, making sure the back is soft. As you get into a bit more of an S shape, make sure that you remain with the back nice and soft. Tuck the chin in. So now we can feel the big toes, the thighs, supporting this mega lift that we're doing. And now breathe in. Feel the diaphragm drop down towards that pickup. Don't lose the pickup, and the chest expand. As you roll down, as you know, there's lots of different options. You can rock yourself down, you can S to C yourself down, you can twist yourself, you can do a bit of all of those. Just check how your spine is feeling. What does it need? I've done this, we've been doing this so long now that I noticed that when I do it, I have so little tension left in the spine. So it's obviously having a really good effect. It's like wiggling around at the spine. So good. Okay, let's bring the hands out to the side. Foot on the knee. And twists. Letting the knee drop. You can bring the hand to the knee if you want. Let go of the shoulder. Remember, orangutan your arms. You've got one hop leg going forward, one going back, below, the same above. And now pick up your marble as you breathe it out. Breathe in, let the diaphragm come to meet that pickup. Feel that chest expand so much more. Just rock over to the other side. When we're done, we've done quite a lot of twisting today, so this feels like it's had a good stretch out. And the other thing I've noticed while doing all this core work is that when the core is really properly engaged, Even the simplest stretches are really deep. You get quite a lot out of them. Breathing into that pickup, expanding the chest. We're going to come around to the front. Now, in S shape, like I said, it's a little bit harder to feel the core. So when you bring your hands beneath you, stretch out your legs, engage your core here first before you come up. See, what does that feel like to try and pick up my core here? It's not as easy as C shape. Bring the elbows in. Keep that sense of core there. That's if you're rooting down at the front of the body there by the pubic bone. Now breathe in. Get the diaphragm to meet that pickup. And feel that expansion in the chest. You can see it's quite powerful in this pose. Almost designed to help teach it to you. And then when you come down, of course, you've got that moment. Now, as I said before, core is really connective into the prefrontal cortex of the mind, so we feel really present in our body, and probably not a lot like relaxing right now. If anything, quite energized. So what we can do here is pick an FPR move. So we're not going to lose that energizedness or that presence. We're just now going to be relaxed and energized and present at the same time. So either knee bend rock, knees up rocks, current favorite of mine at the moment, tick-tock, side rock, bottom rock. You can even do, if you remember it, the rope. We haven't done the rope for a while. Try and remember to bring that in next week. Gentle rocking. This is just going to switch that switch for us. There we go. So there's my response. That's indicating to me to stop, and I know that relaxation feeling comes on. Now, for some of us, it might take more than one. So you might do a second one or a third one, but here we are, we're relaxing, still energized, still present. And today's relaxation very much based around what we've been doing. So we're going to breathe in to the core. Feeling that diaphragm meet that pickup. The pickup very slight now. We're not doing it on purpose, it's just sort of there in the background. But it feels as if as we breathe into the core that we are filling it up with oxygen if you want to be scientific, filling it up with light, color, warm water, whatever you like, whatever helps you to really tune into this process. This is also many Eastern body modalities, the center of our power, center of our energy. And with each breath, we're bringing it in, filling it up. And then as we breathe out, we're going to start to distribute it. So now we're nice and full, hopefully. And as you breathe out, imagine that the hips have got little trapdoors in it, and you're allowing this color, water, energy, oxygen, whatever you've called it, to come down through the thighs, the knees, the calves, the shins, the ankles, the feet, all the way to the toes. Breathing in, filling up. Breathing out, pumping it down through the hips and legs all the way to the toes. Again, a couple more breaths like this. Filling up as you breathe in, pumping it down as you breathe out. Legs getting heavier and more relaxed every time. This time as you breathe out, bring it into your lower back. Sack of potatoes, feel that colour, the light, the oxygen, the relaxation spread into that lower back. Breathing in. Only at the front is there any work. The back of the body is melting, relaxing, being filled up with this colour, water, light, energy. Oxygen. Now, this time when you breathe the next breath out, the spine a bit like a thermometer, let the water, energy, light, oxygen, whatever you've chosen, come up the spine. Pumping it up the spine, through the shoulder blades a little bit, up through between the shoulder blades. The next breath, it comes a little bit further. Shoots up the spine, between the shoulder blades, into the neck and jaw. Releasing the jaw. Filling up the cheeks, the lips, around the eyes, the forehead, the brow, the top of the head, the back of the head. Breathing in, filling up the core. Breathing out, pumping it up the spine, through the shoulders, up into the neck, jaw facing. Couple of more breaths like this. On the next breath, as you fill up, send this colour, this light up through the tummy, through the diaphragm and chest, over the shoulders, down the arms and hands to the fingertips. Filling up the core with the breath, with the colour, the oxygen, the light, the healing energy, whatever you want to use, and sending it through the diaphragm and chest, arms and hands. A couple of more breaths. And now as you breathe, see, can you do the whole body? Breathing into the core and sending some down the legs to the feet, up the spine to the face, neck and jaw, up through the chest, shoulders, arms and hands. Filling up that core, sending it to the whole body. So the whole body seems to be filled with this light, relaxation, oxygen, color, healing, energy. Start to notice the floor beneath you and feel the floor come up to meet you and hold you up. As you breathe in, you feel the core there, filling and emptying into the whole body and feeling the floor, holding you up. And then just having a moment to see if you can feel these two sensations at the same time, regardless of the breath. The core pumping away, the body filled with this relaxation, light colour. The floor beneath you holding you up. All of it felt simultaneous. Acknowledging this relaxed, awake, energized presence. Knowing that this is the ideal balance, how we can walk through life doing stuff. We can be relaxed and active and energized all at the same time. Just giving yourself the time that you need. Resting for as long as you are able to. And I will see you all next week. Take care, everyone.